Welcome back to Chapter 7. In this video, we'll be talking more about sectioning content and specific tags. First thing is the header tag. Now do not get these confused with the heading tags. This is not your H1, H2, H3, etc. This is specifically used to group introductory or navigational aids. This is the header tag. Usually contains a nav tag or other items that are relevant to the company or organization that is using the web page. Usually found near the top of the body, it can contain items such as navigation, logo, tagline, etc. And you can have more than one of these on a page, such as the top of a section, a main, or even an article. Next you have nav. This is used to identify a major page-wide or site-wide navigation. If you recall from Unit 1 when you actually developed the list of links in the resources page, that was just a list of links. But this way, by using a nav tag and using the UL inside of a nav tag, you are telling the browsers and search engines that this specific set of links is a navigation for the page. Whether it's the main navigation, a footer navigation, an article navigation, regardless of what it is, if it is a navigation for other pages on the site, it is considered a navigation. You don't need to have nav for every link. Again, just like I listed on Unit 1, you don't need to create nav around items that are not navigation. It is not necessary for a secondary navigation, such as legal disclaimer, contact info, etc. So don't overuse this. Next you have main. This is used to denote the main content of the web page. Again, this should be unique to the page itself. Search engines and assistive devices can identify the content if it is inside the main tag, and it should be the only main tag on the page. Based on how basic sites are set up, you should have the header, the main, and the footer all separated by those necessary tags. You have a sidebar, also known as an A-side tag. There's no sidebar tag, but for HTML purposes you have an A-side. This is typically secondary content, not as important as the content inside of a main tag. It is indirectly related to the main content, but not to be used for short spans of parenthesized text that is part of the main flow. For that, please use small. But if you have things such as sidebars or side navigations, or in most cases, ads, that would be located inside of an A-side tag. Next you have footer. This is meant to contain information about the author of the page, section or copyright data, or links related to the documents of the page. You can have more than one. Each main section, A-side, or even the page itself may have a footer tag. Again, this is just telling the search engines and the browsers where the bottom of the section is. Again, it could be the main, A-side, footer, div, section, whatever. The footer itself just identifies the bottom of the section, and in most cases, the bottom of the page. So let's put all of this together. If you recall from our very first video, this is essentially the basic breakdown of a very simple site. You have the masthead, which is the top header part, the branding or the H1, main navigation, the sidebar, the main content, and the footer at the bottom. So let's take a look at more colorful versions of it. In this example, you have the header, you have the nav inside the header, you have the main section, you have an A-side, and you have a footer. Now in some cases, the A-side can be inside of the main. It is perfectly fine. For most cases, people have the A-side outside of the main, but you can have the A-side inside the main if it is relevant to the main content. That's it for this video, kind of short and sweet. If you have any questions, please let me know via email or hit me up on Twitter. I'll be happy to answer anything you send me. In the next video, we're talking about more subsections for content.